The inauguration of Colombo's Lotus Tower has triggered outrage in Sri Lanka. Its construction began way back in 2012. It was funded with loans from China. The residents of Colombo are torn over what the tower stands for. They feel it represents Sri Lanka's mistakes from the past. Let's go across the Lankan capital to get a sense of the ground sentiment.
Rising to a height of 350 meters, this is Colombo's Lotus Tower. It's visible from all over the city. Building cost almost $113 million. You must admit it's an engineering marvel, but in Colombo, the Lotus Tower doesn't just evoke awe. It evokes a more powerful sentiment: hate. This structure was built with Chinese loans. It's the classic example of a white elephant project, meaning useless but expensive. Construction began in 2012 under former Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. From day one, the project was plagued by corruption claims. Almost 10 years later, the tower is open to the public. The officials here say they had no option. Maintenance costs were too high, so they thought, why not turn the tower into an entertainment center?
So anywhere in the world, this type of building, it's an icon of the country, right? So you can't recover, when you take other countries also, you can't recover quickly. So at least we have done a model, business model to run this place without a burden to the country again. So paying the loans and all, of course, this company cannot pay.
The plan is to rent out office and shop spaces. A revolving restaurant below the viewing deck is also up for grabs. And honestly, the view is great. You can see both the congested capital and the peaceful ocean. But 113 million for that? Sounds a bit steep, doesn't it? The tower wasn't built for entertainment only. It was supposed to be a communications tower. A bit like this one. This is the central radio and TV tower in Beijing, almost 405 meters tall. Mahinda Rajapaksa wanted a replica of this tower, but in the process he plunged Sri Lanka into a debt trap. Broadcasters say the Lotus Tower is not an ideal communication center. A, it cannot cover the whole island, and B, it doesn't improve transmission. Basically, a beautiful but wasteful project.
This is a good resource in the country, a necessary resource for the country. However, the problem is the loan we have taken for this was made out of debt.
The loan is indeed the problem. Mahinda Rajapaksa ruled from 2005 to 2015. During this time, he borrowed heavily from China. Most of these projects were heavy on loans, but light on feasibility. As a result, they failed. The best examples is the deep-sea port in Hambantota. Sri Lanka could not make the payments, so now China holds a 99-year lease on the port. By the end of his tenure, Mahinda had ruined the Lankan economy. Over 10% of their debt was owned by China, nearly $5.1 billion. As the payments piled up, Sri Lanka's foreign exchange dwindled. For the people here, this tower is a reminder of that crisis.
It would be best if there was no debt. If it is open to foreigners too, they can get some income.
Sri Lanka's media summed it up best. They called this building a towering story of pride and waste. It most certainly is, but perhaps it can also be a constant reminder of what not to do. South Asia Bureau, WION World is One.